Time for this week's pickup video. This week I went up to Newark, New Jersey to go visit some customers up there. And while I was in the area, I decided to go visit Digital Press Video Games, and I had an interview with Mr. Joe Santelli, who runs the store. He also is involved with the Video Game History Museum as well. There's be a little linky down in the show notes to the Digital Press website and also to the Video Game History Museum as well. Check this website out because it's really neat, all the stuff they have. But anyway, also there is a Gamer Spots video with Mr. Joe Santelli, and yes, I know there's a lot of background noise. I really need to invest in a new camera that has remote mics. The microphone on this camera is a little bit too omnidirectional. Even though I had the zoom mic turned on, it still was picking up people behind the camera, so I got to invest in new equipment eventually, so bear with me. Anyway, here's the pickups I had. First, what I picked up at Digital Press. First thing I picked up at Digital Press is Gyrus for my ColecoVision. A really good port of the arcade game to the ColecoVision, not bad at all. My first thought when I saw this cartridge when I got it was, is this some kind of repro? Because it doesn't look like a regular Parker Brothers cartridge. You know how those are kind of rounded? The Atari ones are kind of rounded on the edges and stuff, and the label is actually, this size. This has black on either side of the label right here. And I first thought this was a homemade cartridge, but evidently it's not, because I got another ColecoVision Gyrus cartridge. It's exactly the same way. So I got two of these bad boys, one of which is going to my co-host, SoCal Mike, for him to play on the podcast when we get to this game. Next game I picked up is Sydney's Evolution. Interesting game. You start off as an amoeba, and you're trying to collect DNA strands so you can evolve into a frog. And you start trying catching these flies and avoid these fishes while you're the frog. And as far as I've gotten so far, there's more levels you advance to as you play this game. A very unique gameplay. I really like this. It's a lot of fun to play. And then, of course, for my Atari 2600, I finally picked up a copy of Turbo. Now, this was an unreleased prototype that was found a few years back, and then Atari Age actually started releasing this enhanced prototype back at CGE 2012. So it has both ROMs on here. We have the original prototype, and there's a enhanced prototype version on here where basically they've corrected a lot of the bugs so you can actually play the game. It's not a bad game to play. It is a lot of fun. The only real complaints I have about it is there's no sense of movement. The road doesn't seem to scroll by. All you just have cars flying by. And I really wish, instead of using the joystick controller, I really wish they would have put paddle control support on this. I think it'd be a lot more fun if it had paddle control instead of the joystick controller. As you can see by this gameplay up here, I'm not very good using the joystick trying to play this game. But anyway, that was an awesome purchase, and Digital Press still had 4 copies of this when I was there this past week. So if you're looking for this game, I know Atari Age I think was sold out. Digital Press does have this, at least 4 copies of it. And then, of course, I ordered in the official Gamester 81 video game for my ColecoVision. Awesome. I like John. He's a really cool guy. I love watching his videos and all his reviews and his other YouTube channels, Star Wars Nut 77. Linky's all down there for all his stuff. But he actually got a video game made, and what's really cool about this, when it first stops up, he goes, "Hey, it's Gamester 81." It's pretty cool hearing the ColecoVision talk. But it has 3 different levels in it. You have like a Donkey Kong level where you're trying to avoid barrels. You have a Space Invaders level where you're shooting invaders and trying to pick up these little circuit boards. And you have a Pac-Man level where you're trying to collect cherries to advance. It has 4 different skill levels on it. I tried it on the easiest and got through the whole game with no problem. Put it on the hardest, I never made it past the first stage, man. Game is really hard on the harder levels. But it is a lot of fun. So if you have a ColecoVision, You ought to try to pick this game up. It is a lot of fun. It's well worth the money. All right. Well, while I was also up there in Newark, or New Jersey, I made some other pickups. I did some hunting around. And I picked up a Rayman 2, The Great Escape, for my Sega Dreamcast. Game is okay. It's not too bad of a game to play. I'm not really playing any of the Rayman series. This is the first one I think I've ever purchased. And I'm trying to get a nice... I don't know if I'm trying to complete the collection for my Dreamcast, because there's a lot of games I really don't care for at all on the Dreamcast. But I figured this one I probably play because it's a platformer, and I kind of like platformer games. So it's pretty cool. Then I picked up Omega Race. Pretty good port of the arcade game to the ColecoVision. It's a lot of fun to play. I like the arcade version of this game anyway, so I missed not seeing the vector graphics though. That was a vector graphic game, if I remember right. I should know, but I don't remember. But anyway, it's a cool game. And then when I flew back into my airport, coming back home, I stopped at a couple of my favorite stores and one of my favorite flea markets that's open. I picked up a Jungle Hunt for my ColecoVision. This is an awesome port of the arcade game. It plays really smooth. The controls are really nice. And it scrolls really well. If you notice in Zaxxon how the scrolling is kind of choppy, it's not really very choppy in this game. So the programmers did a heck of a job to get some smooth scrolling on this game. And they also picked up and Down for my ColecoVision. Another great arcade game that was ported to the system. This one's a lot of fun too. Controls are really good. It's a very fun game. I think I've got this on my Atari 2600. Maybe not. Well, at least I got it from my ColecoVision now. So I'm up to 64 cartridges now out of 145 released ones. So not quite halfway there to pick up all the games. So I am trying to get all the games for my ColecoVision. Also, when I was up in New Jersey, I hooked up with Old School New York City Gamer, linky to his YouTube channel down there. And I gave him a Bally Astrocade cartridge that he was wanting to mess around with. But he brought me some stuff too. He brought me some TRS-80 cassettes, one of which is Color Space Invaders. Now, I don't have a TRS-80, so I can't show any gameplay. And also Trek Color 80. So I got some people I know that'll like to have these to use like in a little computer museum that's over in North Carolina, Western North Carolina. So I'm just going to give these to them to add to their collection. We also gave me a little Milton Bradley game called a Comp 4. I think he's trying to drive me insane. Because this game is freaking crazy, man. You got to have some special cards that go with this game. You can actually download them off the internet. And I did do that. And basically what this game is it's like Mastermind. You can have a 3-digit number, a 4-digit number, a 5-digit number. That when you actually enter in a number down here and hit your little R key to see if you're getting close to the guess, the little Comp 4 here will tell you how many digits you have correct and how many is in the correct sequence. So if the number inside of here was 231 and I'd guessed 131, it would say I had 2 numbers right and 2 are in the correct sequence. So basically it's electronic Mastermind. It's really cool. I tried to play this a couple times and it kicked my butt. But anyway, it's still really cool. I really appreciate him giving me this for my collection. We also spent some time at the Barcade in Jersey City and played a whole bunch of retro arcade games they had in there. They had a cocktail table Pong. It was pretty neat to see. And they also had a game in there I've never seen before in all the arcades I've been in. It's a game made by SNK, and it's called Lasso. And basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to lasso these sheep running around on the farm. All the while, you're trying to save them from these wolves that are coyotes that are running around on the farm too, trying to get your sheep. You can shoot the coyotes. You can lasso the sheep. It's an interesting game. It's kind of fun. Very hard. I didn't last very long playing it at all. But anyway, that's all the pickups for this week. So thanks for watching.